Okay, today we're going to look at some of the homework problems. This first one says Jocelyn borrowed 3.75, I'm going to circle this, kilograms of flour from her grandmother to bake 3 batches of cookies and 2 cakes. So I'm just going to underline 3 batches and 2 cakes. That way I'm aware that she's making more than one. Each cookie recipe called for 225 grams of flour. Each cake recipe needed 1.2 kilograms of flour. After baking, how much flour was Jocelyn able to return to her grandmother? Okay, couple things here. Just by circling the measurements, I know that I'm dealing with both kilograms and grams. So I want to make sure that before I go any further, I have everything converted to the same measurement unit. Also, I know that there's 3 batches, and then I see, and 2 cakes, and then I see these words, each. Each cake, each cookie recipe. So I know usually when I see the word each, that means I'm multiplying. Not always, but I'm thinking off to the side that I'm going to need to convert and multiply. Okay? Now I'm going to read the problem again, see if I can gather some more information from it. Jocelyn borrowed 3.75 kilograms of flour from her grandmother to bake 3 batches of cookies and 2 cakes. Each cookie recipe called for 225 grams of flour. Each cake recipe needed 1.2 kilograms of flour. After baking, how much flour was Jocelyn able to return to her grandmother? So what I'm thinking right now is I can probably draw a picture. But before I do that, I notice this grams right here. And it's not the same unit as kilograms. So what I want to do is I want to convert so that it's all the same unit. So I'm going to take my 225 grams because that's the one that's different. And I'm going to convert it to kilograms. So again, I would just do my conversion the way we've discussed. Which one's bigger? Kilograms is bigger. There's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So in this case, I'm going from smaller to bigger, which means I need to divide. So I have 225 divided by 1,000, which means I need to move the decimal back 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. I have 0.225 kilograms. So I'm going to change this one. I'm going to cross this off. And up here, I'm going to put 0.225 kilograms. Okay, now I can go in and I can start to draw a picture about to understand what's happening here. So I'm going to label cookies, and I know she made 3 batches. And I know she made cakes, and I know she made 2 cakes. Okay, each batch of cookies took 0.225 kilograms, and each cake took 1.2 kilograms. So what I want to do is figure out how much flour she's used so far. This is where my multiplication can come into play. To figure out for the cookies, I can take 0.225 and multiply that 3 times. Three times 2 is 6, plus 1, 7. 3 times 2 is 6. And then I'm going to put my decimal back in. 1, 2, 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3 in my answer. So I know for here, I have 0.675 kilograms. Okay, for the cake, this one I actually don't even know I have to go off to the side because I can add 1.2 plus 1.2 in my head. If you weren't able to do it in your head, you can go off to the side. So I know that's going to be 2.4 kilograms, and then I have 0.65 kilograms. To figure out how much flour she used all together, I want to add. So I'm going to take 0.65, 675, and I'm going to add 2.4 to that. Make sure I line up the decimal, otherwise I won't get the correct answer. That gives me 3.075. it says, how much flour was Jocelyn able to return to her grandmother? Well, able to return, I know it's basically saying how much flour does she have left. When I talk about how much is left over or the difference, I have to subtract. So I'm going to subtract how much she started with. She started with 3.75 kilograms. She used 3.075, and I want to know how much she has left. I can't take 5 from 0, so I'm going to borrow. It's going to give me 10. Can't take 7 from 4, so I'm going to borrow. 6 minus 0 is 6. So I know she has 0.675 kilograms left. So I'm going to put that in an answer statement. Jocelyn returned 0.675 kilograms of flour to her grandmother. And with many of these math problems, there's not a whole lot of space here. Anytime you want to use a separate sheet of paper, by all means go ahead and do that.